Just days ago, a horde of wild boars swept through California's fields, leaving devastation in their wake and injuring a farmer. Thomas's hunting team was urgently dispatched to the area. Armed with top-notch gear and a pack of skilled hunting dogs, they charged straight for the beast's hideout. The tracks scarring the fields were undeniable proof of the destructive power of these monsters. Thomas knew this hunt would be a dangerous battle, but nothing could halt his advance. Can the team stop this disaster in its tracks? Follow along to witness the heart-pounding clashes unfold. Following the faint tracks, Thomas moved silently. He settled into his ambush spot, patiently waiting for his target to appear. About 15 minutes later, a dark shape slowly and silently emerged from the thick bushes. Seizing his chance, Thomas raised his rifle and fired instantly. The wounded animal thrashed and tried to escape, but a second shot completely stopped its desperate run. The first trophy of the day was secured with a perfectly executed series of shots. Their celebration was short-lived. The GPS blared with a new signal: more prey. They rushed to the location, and a small team fanned out to set a tight perimeter. And just like that, a herd of wild boars appeared in their sights. A continuous volley of shots rang out, relentlessly pursuing them as they ran. When the echoes faded, the hillside was littered with the scattered bodies of the fallen. A few hundred meters from Thomas, Jay was in the perfect ambush position, cutting off a wild boar as it snaked through the thick bushes, desperate to escape. The moment was perfect. Jay instantly pulled the trigger. The decisive crack of the rifle and the perfect shot found its mark. The beast had no chance. It collapsed motionless onto the ground. It was a precise shot, ending a threat and protecting the land once more. Before he could even catch his breath, the frantic barking of dogs in a nearby thicket immediately drew Thomas's attention. He moved toward the sound without a second thought. As he pushed through the dense trees, he kept his eyes peeled, ready for anything. Oh my God! A massive wild boar burst from the bushes, charging straight at him. Thanks to his quick instincts and years of experience, a single, precise shot saved him from the beast's sudden attack. This isn't just a hunt, it's a life or death battle. You have to be prepared for every possible situation. hunt wasn't over yet, and the sun grew more intense. After moving for a while, Thomas paused, his eyes scanning every blade of grass. Before long, a shape lurking behind the leaves slowly came into view. With nothing left to hide it, a sharp shot rang out. A clean hit that left the beast with no chance to escape. The sun was beginning to set, and the team rushed to finish the hunt before darkness fell over the hillside. Meanwhile, Jay remained patient in his position, waiting for a target to appear. His long wait paid off. A beast came into his sights. He fired several quick shots, but they weren't enough to take the animal down completely. Wounded, it managed to drag itself into the thick bushes across from him. Jay quickly tracked it down and secured his trophy, completely eliminating the threat once and for all. Shadow of Death. Hunters confront wild boar in the dense forest. From rugged hillsides to dense shadowy forests, nothing can halt the advance of these fearless marksmen. Plunge into fierce battles, confronting danger to protect crops, land, and livestock from the devastation of wild beasts. The heart-pounding hunts that follow will keep you glued to the screen. Each shot left you stunned. Watch to the end, and don't forget to share your thoughts with us. At dawn, Nick's hunting team set out in their familiar truck to an area reported to be hiding a group of wild boars.
Yes.
Upon arrival, the team swiftly took their pre-planned positions, fully prepared, waiting for their prey to emerge. After a tense wait, Lucky spotted the silhouette of a wild boar on the opposite hillside. The moment its form broke through the tree cover, Lucky fired. A rapid succession of gunshots echoed, finally halting its charge. Leaving the boar no chance to wreak further havoc on the land. On the eastern slope of the hill, after a period of observation, a dark figure weaving through the bushes came into clear view through Nick's binoculars. His rifle was ready, and he precisely tracked the wild boar's movement. With a single shot, the beast collapsed on the spot. Its escape route was completely cut off, restoring peace to the land. same moment, another hunting team was tracking the wild beasts in a dense forest. Upon arriving, they quickly took up blocking positions, surrounding the forest with a resolve to prevent any boar from charging down to devastate the crops. Deep in the woods, John spotted a herd of wild boars hiding in the thick underbrush ahead. A gunshot rang out, sending the herd into a panicked stampede. Unexpectedly, a few chose the wrong direction, charging straight into John's line of sight. Without hesitation, a bullet struck the second boar, dropping it instantly. The others managed to vanish into the deep forest, leaving John no further chance to pull the trigger. Outside, the other team members also spotted the herd of frantic beasts charging out from the forest. The marksmen instantly took their positions, ready for the targets to emerge.
Yapıştır. Çok iyi. Tamam.
As soon as the boars appeared, a volley of gunshots rang out, but they moved too fast, leaving only one carcass behind in the underbrush. The radio crackled, relaying the escape routes of the wild boars to the remaining hunters. On the eastern edge of the forest, a boar charged straight through the blockade position of one of the team's marksmen. Its body fully exposed in a clearing, a sharp gunshot rang out decisively. The boar collapsed instantly, with no chance to flee. Almost simultaneously, other gunshots echoed through the forest, signaling that the remaining boars had been dealt with. The hunt concluded successfully, restoring peace to the land.
Stealthy ambushes, decisive trigger pulls, and every frame sent back brilliant tension. We've distilled the most intense, taking moments. Do you have the courage to face this relentless pursuit? Watch now and feel every second stretch tight like a drawn bowstring. On today's journey, we begin at the Biria fields, a vast, open expanse that, despite its flat and airy terrain, is the perfect hiding place for wild boars lurking between the edge of the forest and endless rice fields. Early in the morning, Pon's team arrived at the location, fully equipped with weapons and a pack of hunting dogs, ready to track down any signs of prey. After moving into their ambush position, 15 minutes passed in complete silence. Suddenly, a rustling sound echoed very close. Pon instantly scanned the area. A massive wild boar, weighing around 400 pounds, had it sensed something? Not letting it escape, Pon squeezed the trigger. Each shot rang out with purpose. The boar collapsed into the grass, marking the team's first triumph of the day. Leaving Biria behind, we continue our journey to the vineyards of Tuscany, where the once peaceful rows of vines have become the hiding grounds of savage beasts. Ronnie's team came fully prepared, armed with gear and a pack of hunting dogs, scouring each row of vines for signs of movement. As they examined the ground carefully, a sudden burst of barking echoed from afar. The hounds had picked up a scent. In less than a minute, a wild boar burst into view, panicked and charging through the vineyard. Do you think it could escape? Ronnie didn't give it the chance. A single shot rang out swift and decisive. The boar collapsed between the rows of grapes. In this hunt, there's no place for hesitation, only the fastest survive. Bidding farewell to the peaceful vineyards, we head straight to Corsica, a rugged land of jagged rocks and thick underbrush. The terrain grows harsher with every step, presenting a real challenge, even for seasoned marksmen. But Finn wasn't fazed. He had set out early, weaving through rocky outcrops and pushing past thorny thickets in silent pursuit of his prey. While navigating a narrow trail, a group of wild boars suddenly burst out from the brush, rummaging for food. Without hesitation, the first gunshot echoed through the hills. The startled boars scattered in What would you do in a moment like this? Chase them through the unforgiving terrain or let them vanish into the mountainside? Finn didn't back down. He fired again and again, each shot shadowing the frantic steps of the fleeing boars. But the terrain gave them cover, allowing most to disappear into steep, rocky slopes. Sona's team was already in position, spreading out across various ambush points around the mountain. Sona quickly settled into place, eyes locked on the landscape, patiently scanning for any signs of movement. Movement detected. A wild boar, panicked, came crashing through the underbrush in a frantic escape. The moment the beast came into view, Sona chambered around and locked onto the target. John, a seasoned marksman, enters with one goal in mind: let none escape. After just 15 minutes of pushing deeper into the dense thicket, he spots his target. A massive wild boar, nearly 500 pounds, suddenly charges straight at him. The boar collapses at his feet, ending the confrontation in an instant. Thick with thorns and tangled vegetation, it's long been considered an untouchable stronghold of wild boars. Less than 5 minutes in, a wild boar suddenly burst through the undergrowth at nearly 30 kilometers. The moment it entered his sights, Jack pulled the trigger. A single shot rang out. The boar collapsed into the dry grass. A clean, precise, and ice-cold finish to the hunt.
Wild boars have now become a nightmare for residents across Europe. They constantly invade and devastate crops. Despite repeated hunting efforts, their numbers continue to grow, forcing local farmers to persistently confront the problem. In today's video, join us as we follow Tony and his team on their challenging hunt. Let's see how it unfolds. Early in the morning, Tony and his team position themselves in a freshly harvested field, open terrain with no cover left for the boars to hide. Here, even the slightest mistake would let their targets escape. A massive wild boar suddenly burst from the tall grass, weighing nearly 100 kilograms and sprinting like a bullet. Without hesitation, Tony and his team immediately gave chase in their vehicle. After intense pursuit, he took careful aim and dropped the beast with a single well-placed shot. Emboldened by this initial success, the team combed through the entire area with renewed determination, leaving no boar unchecked. After hours of tracking, Tony finally pinpointed the lead boar's movement. Without delay, an ambush plan was set into motion. Each second passed in breathless silence. Boom! A crisp gunshot rang out the moment the target appeared. The boar collapsed less than a meter from Tony. Once again, his experience and composure secured him another prized trophy. Before he could celebrate, a strange rustling erupted from the distant dry grass. As Tony moved closer to investigate, a massive boar suddenly charged straight at him. With no time to hesitate, his fingers instinctively squeezed the trigger. Years of hunting experience paid off. The perfectly placed shot stopped a potentially deadly attack mere inches away. After an exhausting day of hunting, the wild boar population showed no signs of dwindling. There were simply too many. So Tony and his team made a bold decision: right operation. As darkness fell and the air turned biting cold, prime conditions for boar hunting, they located their first targets within minutes. Through thermal scopes, the boars stood out vividly, making them easy marks. In just a few hours, they eliminated numerous targets, dramatically thinning the local boar population. The hunt continues relentlessly. At this moment, we're pursuing a fleeing wild boar. Despite its surprising speed, I managed to adjust my rifle and fire in rapid succession. Near the tree line in the distance, another sounder of boars wanders while foraging. Sensing imminent danger, they immediately wheel around and flee in panic. But Tony, ever prepared, needs only seconds to lock onto his target. With surgical precision, his shots find their mark, dropping the boar with centimeter-level accuracy. As night fell, the wild boars emerged in greater numbers, and these were even bigger specimens. In a coordinated moment, Tony and his team unleashed a synchronized volley of fire. When the gun smoke cleared, the boars lay lifeless on the forest floor. From their strategically chosen firing positions, they continued eliminating targets with deadly precision. One shot, one kill. As the hunt concluded, though the hunt yielded a significant number of kills, the size of the fleeing herd made one thing clear: these operations would continue until the wild boar population was brought under control.
After many thrilling and challenging hunting trips, this time we decided to take our experience to the next level with an even tougher mission. Not in remote mountains or vast fields, but deep within a dense, treacherous swamp. Yes, you heard that right. A massive swamp in Louisiana, USA, where the muddy and rugged terrain makes wild boar hunting incredibly demanding. With the support of an airboat and expert hunting skills, we were ready for an intense showdown. Follow along and join us as we take on this new challenge. This trip was more special than ever with the participation of Hank, Swamp King Turner, a legendary hunter with decades of experience battling wild boars. He meticulously prepared everything from bait and hunting knives to sturdy trapping nets. Our boat glided smoothly over the calm waters. Upon reaching an ideal open area, the team quickly executed the plan. We set up traps using wooden and metal stakes, creating a semi-enclosed area with high-hanging nets. Inside, food was scattered to lure the wild boars in. The moment they stepped in and triggered the mechanism, the net would drop, trapping these destructive creatures inside. Once everything was in place, we quietly retreated, keeping a safe distance to avoid alarming the boars. Time passed in suspense. Our journey through the swamp continued, and before long, we took down another massive wild boar. The boar lay motionless after a precise, fatal shot. Then, when we returned, the sight before us was exhilarating. An entire herd of wild boars had been caught. They thrashed and struggled desperately, but there was no escape. In no time, more than a dozen wild boars were subdued and loaded onto the boat. It was an intense, thrilling, and unforgettable hunting trip. With the help of the airboat, we pressed on in search of more giant wild boars. Eyes scanning every bush and every disturbed patch of mud. Signs of prey lurking nearby. Suddenly, a dark figure emerged. The team immediately slowed down, readying our guns. A well-aimed bullet pierced the animal's body, bringing it down instantly. Shortly after, we spotted and successfully took down several more targets. Wild boars became more active. We were determined not to let them escape. Navigating through the dense vegetation, we had to wade across small water channels, making it difficult to spot our prey. After tracking for a while, I finally caught sight of a dark silhouette. My footsteps left deep imprints in the muddy ground. The wild boar was still there, eagerly searching for food, completely unaware of the lurking danger. I needed to get closer. This was the perfect opportunity. Carefully adjusting my aim, I ensured that each shot would be as effective as possible. Direct hit. The bullet struck its mark, and the boar collapsed instantly. Fatigue from the long chase vanished in an instant, as I smiled with satisfaction at our achievement. As twilight deepened, wild boar activity peaked, but we couldn't let any prey escape. The hunt pressed on. The thick vegetation and swampy terrain made every step heavy, but persistence paid off. Following the tracks, I spotted another dark silhouette ahead. The wild boar, completely unaware of the imminent threat, was still rummaging through the dirt for food. This was the perfect chance. I steadied my rifle, carefully adjusting the angle for maximum impact. Bullseye. The bullet hit its weak spot, and the boar dropped instantly. The exhaustion from the day's chase faded away as I grinned, knowing we had secured another victory in this untamed swamp. But we remained patient, lying in wait for the next target. Suddenly, a massive wild boar boldly entered the hunting zone. Seizing the moment, we signaled our hunting dogs to attack. Nightfall arrived. Their coordination was flawless. They bit down hard, preventing the beast from making any escape attempt. The wild boar roared and thrashed violently, but the dog's sharp fangs had it completely trapped in this life-or-death struggle. Though exhausted, the excitement remained. We knew that out there, many more wild boars were still lurking, and this journey was far from over. New challenges awaited us.